Today we're going to be demonstrating how to put together and assemble a meat and cheese board. First, we're going to start off by slicing some meat. What we have here is some boneless prosciutto. We're going to place it in the slicer. Because I'll be using slicers and knives during this video, I'm going to just go ahead and keep my cut gloves on at all times. Place the meat down. Go ahead and power on. And you want to always look at your adjustment of your knob on your meat. Currently we're at a 3. I'm going to go forward and do a slice. The importance of this cutting it is you want to cut it as thin as possible. That's just a hair thick. So we're going to go down to about a 2.5. You want your meat to stay a full muscle as you cut it, so when the customer eats it, it's not shredded into pieces. And today we're going to put together about a 4-ounce portion. Always look at your recipes to decide the proper poundage or ounces that you're going to put together on a plate. Now, if I was following a recipe, it'd be very important to go ahead and weigh this out and have a scale. But right now, for the purpose of this video, it's more about the assembly piece. What I have here is some sliced prosciutto, some spicy capicola, some tasso ham, and some sliced salami. Now we're going to go on to the assembly and the cutting of some cheese. What we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to do like a rustic cut. So what I like to do is do about 3/4 of an inch down, and then just kind of break it apart into little pieces. And where you're doing cheese, it's very important to take an assortment of appropriate cheeses. For the purpose of this video, I've gone ahead and done some pieces here. What we have here is some smoked Gouda, some cheddar cheese, some soft brie. When dealing with brie, sometimes it's difficult to break it apart, so you need to cut it into chunks. And now to finish, we've got 2 local cheeses here. We've got a local blue cheese and a local jalapeno. Next, we're going to go on to the actually assembling of the board. For assembly purposes, we're going to do a combination of meat and cheeses, but you could do the same application and treatment with just a meat board or just a cheese board. I like to keep a couple pieces on the board as a whole and then add some crumbles to it. And I always like to do the cheese first. The cheese kind of falls into place, and sometimes it's the trickiest. So first I started out with the smoked Gouda. Now I'm going on to our local blue. Next, I'm going to add the brie. Brie can sometimes be a little tricky to work with, but it's definitely a delicious cheese. Next, on to our cheddar. And I like to try not to I like to kind of let it fall into place as best as possible, as long as it doesn't get too wild on the board. As far as the cheese go, we're going to finish off with another local cheese, the jalapeno. And next we're going to go on to our meats, our sliced meats. We have our salami. We have some tasso. And sometimes you have to scoot it around a little bit. We have our prosciutto. And we're going to finish with capicola. Okay, now the next thing we'll do is we're going to move on to some condiments for it. For this application, we have a nice spicy brown mustard. We have a fresh jalapeno apricot. We have a nice cranberry honey. And sometimes you have to kind of toss things around a little bit just to make it fill out your board, which is okay. And then we're going to finish off with some nice beef sticks. Here you have a meat and cheese board.